the black child from the last case keeps trying to spiritually attack me, and it's going, and it's getting on my nerves.
Hello, everyone. So today we have listener stories for you. So in season 1, we did a listener stories volume 1. So the thumbnail and everything's like a nod to season 1. So this is season 2, listener stories volume 2. We have approximately 4 stories for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each story. We have an audio, a couple ones that will be read, and one that's partially going to be read, and an audio. And then me and Emily are going to put in a couple of our spooky experiences as well. And that's going to be it for this episode today. We're just kind of doing a relaxed episode. Also, I'm using my old phone, and we're going to be running the ghost tube in the background and see if we get anything. Emily,
I got Mickey Rem Pod in the back.
Yeah. So basically what we're going to do is also I've got some cards over here to the side in case I feel drawn to want to pull some cards, because basically what we're going to do is we're going to kind of just give knowledge and intuitive impressions. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video today. But if you don't know who we are, my name's Chasity, aka the Luminary Luna Beams.
And I'm Emily, the Fine Art Medium.
And we're two mediums that specialize in the paranormal. Our purpose is to shed light on what goes bump in the night. That's why we call this podcast
Lights at Midnight
Lamp.
Bing.
So again, we've got a lot of new subscribers. We really appreciate you guys taking the time to hit that subscribe button and that like button and leave us tons of comments. And matter of fact, if you don't mind, go ahead and leave us a comment in the comment section below. That's 3 comment. Okay, comment below, guys. And let's see if there's anything else. I think that's it, isn't it, Emily? We can probably go ahead and jump into the audio for my sister Alexis. She actually submitted it. I kind of forced her a little bit because we were kind of low on stories. But no, I didn't force her. She was happy to do it. But we've got like a roughly 3-minute audio that we're going to go ahead and insert here. It's kind of funny. It's definitely spooky, and it takes place in the house that I used to live in, that I ended up getting my original haunting from, that made me into the person that I am today. So we're going to go ahead and roll that clip.
All right, here we go.
The only real ghost story that I remember that I can recall was when we were living in your trailer in Walnut Cove. And it was me and Alex. We were little, and you and Anthony and Nick and Sherry were all in the living room. I think y'all were drinking and just shooting shit and stuff. But you had a night light. I remember it was purple, and it had these little like pink things poking off of it. It was like one of those early 2000s night lights.
Yeah.
And you turned it on for us, and it had a switch on the front of it, like one of the old ones. And the switch would turn off, like it'd flick off, and we'd start screaming like, Chastity, something turn that off. And you'd come in there and you're like, you're just scared of the Slipknot posters. And we're like, no, it turned off. And you came in, you turned it back on. You're like, don't get up again, don't turn it off. And then it turned off again, and we started screaming. And you went, and as soon as you opened the door, that bitch turned back on.
What?
We were mad as hell. And you're like, just leave it alone. It's probably like the circuit, or you're freaked out by the posters. It's fine. And it did it like 3 or 4 more times, and we knew you'd be mad at us because your friends were there. We were screaming.
I probably was drinking. I don't remember. Now I feel bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were, 19, 20 years old. Me and Alex were little.
Yeah, y'all, that makes y'all like 7. No, you were like 9 or 10, maybe.
We were younger than that. That was before, Dad started.
So 8.
Spending time. Yeah, so we were 8. Yeah. And I remember being freaked out and just watching this switch go back and forth.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was the booger house, you know.
And it did the click. Hold on, I have a nightlight in my bathroom because it's a very distinct click. I remember watching that bitch because, it was distinct, like that, you know?
Yeah.
And when we would call you, the bitch would turn back on when you opened the door. Like the switch.
That's crazy. It's like it didn't want me to know that it was doing that to you.
It was wanting us to argue about it.
And that's an intelligent haunting, classified as a haunted place for shizzle my nizzle off the hizzle.
Yeah, those fucking assholes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you for your story.
You're welcome.
Sorry, I tried to. All right, guys. So, yeah, it might be kind of embarrassing for me a little bit because, interestingly enough, when she said it's my fiance now and my ex-husband and my old house, this was probably I was probably 19 or 20 maybe. And I had them on the weekend. We had a couple friends over having some drinks. I do remember this, even though it's been probably 15, 16 years. We'll leave it at that. But basically, yeah, it was kind of crazy. That house was spooky. That's where, if you haven't listened to our season 1, episode 1 and 2, that gives you the backstory of kind of what me and Emily went through to, be the people that we are today. So definitely check that out. Emily, what are your thoughts? Because this is a pretty close personal experience. I know we kind of already solved kind of what's going on there, but what do you got to say about it?
That ghost be gaslighting your siblings.
Yep. And that's exactly what she said. So, yeah, basically, I wasn't aware. Like, I truly thought, because we had a Slipknot poster and some like black light magic mushrooms and black lights in there. And, it was a 20-year-old's bedroom, even though we were on our own at that point. And, yeah, so honestly, there was something really dark there. Again, just to briefly go over it, there was some people in the family that practiced some dark stuff, and then the family were church going people, and some people had strong faith, some people didn't, and there was a lot of partying going on at that point, and it was just a really tough time for me. So there's definitely more than one thing there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there was a super dark entity. Sometimes you would see it in a cloak, sometimes it would zigzag across the yard. It is definitely very lower level, and even possibly, and we're pretty sure, the big D word, and not that word, but demonic. So yeah, it was a crazy experience. And again, let's see, I'm trying to think of other things that I can say. There were definitely portals. Like when we moved, I know there was one in my bedroom in the corner. I would see black blobs flying, across the ceiling. I would sometimes I did have sleep paralysis one time in that room. I would wake up with 3 scratches on my back in that room. Everybody saw this thing. It was not shy at all. What else can I
I
add
saw a
briefly?
man too.
Yeah, I bet that I feel now like, because me and Emily, so guys, if you want to dig in Emily's channel, is probably 2 or 3 years ago now. She did this is like when me and Emily first started talking. There's a full interview with my whole story called The Hinsdale House Haunting, right?
Yeah.
Haunted or something like that, because I lived on Hinsdale Road, and it's no secret. I've done said it. So if everybody's like, hey, Chasity, why are you giving away the information? Well, it's already out there. So come find me, whatever. I don't care. No, you don't want to do that. But basically, yeah. So, it was a crazy place. Super haunted, Native American stuff. Any other psychic impressions you got from that? Because I'm just sharing the background stuff.
Well, the person doing the light switch is the man. I see the man flipping the switch. Obviously, I know about the dark stuff, but in that specific experience that your sister's telling, I see a man flipping the switch.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was crazy. It was definitely crazy.
He kind of looks like Uncle Scrooge.
That don't surprise me. I'm going to go ahead actually right now, and I'm going to turn on the ghost tube app, because we were supposed to anyways, but I tried to turn it on earlier and it said haunting already. So that was earlier, but I'm going to sit it down, I guess, right here, because we're recorded on 2 separate. That's EMF meter. Okay. Oh, it's because it's next to my tablet. It actually does work. But I'm going to leave that right here. And if it says anything, I'll let you know, because I got one headphone in recording on the tablet and here as well. So, and I've turned off the stuff just so everybody sees if you can. So, anything else about the Earthbound?
Yeah, he looks like Uncle Scrooge, but without the hat. He's got the glasses. Like he's old looking, and I think he's old in terms of like how long he's been dead.
Okay.
Like Civil War.
Toy.
It said toy.
Oh.
Yeah. It treated me like a toy.
Mm-hmm.
Like it really did. It toyed with everybody. Keep going with the old man, because I mean, you know what happened to the neighbor across the street. We're not going to talk about that right now, though, please.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so he's wearing like people that were rich back in those days, he's wearing like those kinds of clothes.
Okay.
He's giving like writer vibes, like he would write or
Closet.
Yeah, the portally thing was near the closet. It was on the wall of the closet, so it was like there was a closet, and then where another closet could have went, there was just a recess in the room for like a Chester drawer. We call it a Chester drawer in the South, but it's a chest of drawers, if anybody was wondering.
He's
Drip.
got curly
Drip. Oh my God.
Ah.
In this corner, it ended up having a water leak, and there was, when we moved the Chester drawers out, there was mold dripping water in the corner. No cap.
Let's see. Yeah, he's got like the curly whitish gray hair. He looks very grumpy. He's got a big old nose.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, definitely Scrooge vibes.
Neil, as in like not Neil the name, but Neil, like bow.
Like bow. Yeah, I was thinking bow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was an earthbound spirit too. I can agree with you there.
It's making my head hurt too.
I just thought of, I mean, this is just a thought, aneurysm.
Yeah, it's like to the back of the head.
Well, you might be picking up on my neighbor.
I wonder if he's from over there.
He might be. And you know, my neighbor was actually a very sweet old man, but yeah, like I'm not going to go into details, guys. It'll be very rare if I ever tell that story, so you probably want to go check out Emily's video from Portal.
Yeah. Ah.
Now, look, I want to say this right now. We don't normally do this. Okay, this is not something we normally do, and Brian, and we're not 100% sure that this even works, because it could be picking up on words that we're saying, right? That's what I think. There's a potential.
I mean, my spirit guides did tell me that, so.
Yeah, I don't leave here. This is my damn house. No, be nice, because I don't really, honestly, this is not one of the, and it's nothing against the app or anybody that uses it. It's just something that I don't put a lot of stock in. And I'm holding it away from, well, I've got a good amount of space from it, but anyways.
So my spirit guides were saying how you can't trust it, but it does pick up stuff, but it's like not accurate 24/7.
Right. And I feel that way too. I do. And it's only got a word bank of like 350 words. So, but yeah, that's interesting. And I feel very Native American-y ties too. I might look into the history. I'm going to dig a little bit more into the whole Walnut Cove area, because I think I'm going back to the Madison Dry Goods store. I'm trying to plan a trip, and I'm actually going to do a video this time. Like, it won't be nothing super crazy, because you can't investigate there, or at least the guy that used to own it, you can't investigate there. He wouldn't let you. But I'm going to go back and talk to some people and see. But I'm going to take my video camera. So might dig into that over on the Luminary Luna Beams channel.
Boop, boop. Boop, boop.
But yeah, I've added all I want to add. I don't know if you have anything else you
I
want
ain't
to
got nothing
add.
else. It's just giving me a headache and I don't want to connect with it anymore.
Right, understandable. All right, so I'm going to turn off this for a second just so in case anything comes through it doesn't interrupt us. But our second story, I guess we could go ahead and do a story submitted by Daxx. That's just the name attached to the social media. This isn't too long, but it says Daxx 29. This was submitted through Emily's channel. This is a well done video I enjoyed watching. In the end, you asked if anyone had seen any entities when I was entities. When I was a kid, I would see a dark shadow man, but this memory is so vivid like it happened yesterday and I barely remember my childhood. I wasn't scared of the entity. It felt like it was a playful one. I'm 46 now and I've always wondered why I needed to experience that as a child. I wish I knew what to do to get more information on this. I don't see anything anymore, but I feel like I'm empathic. Light and love to everyone. So, um, reading this, let me go ahead and turn on the thing first, though. Let me get back into the ghosty tube. I done backed all the way out of it by accident. All right, so I feel it's like a male energy.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm
I
feeling.
feel, yeah, earthbound spirit. Do you want to add any keywords before I keep going?
Well, I'm just feeling the pains in my body. Like I'm feeling pain like right here, like around my neck area and clavicle area.
Okay. Maybe the way that the person passed.
Cable.
Cable. Ooh, cable.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Um, let's see. It wasn't like a dark earthboundy type spirit.
No.
Uh, no. It was kind of a spirit that passes through. So where when it come to visit you,
Trapped.
said trapped if in case you didn't hear. I don't know how loud it is on the other end,
I can hear
but
it pretty loud.
okay. So basically, he's kind of traveling through or whatever, and earthbound spirits are trapped here in the light. I think at that point in her life, she was able, she was young, so she was open to her perceptions and stuff like that. And it's things that you see. It's almost like I feel like I'm a little girl laying in bed. This is the vision I'm getting. And I just kind of like, I'm laying on my side and I feel or I sense something. And I open my eyes and I see somebody crossing like my bed. But I also see the door open with a little tiny bit of light coming through. Or like there was a night light and I see the shadow moving. So I'm getting a visual on it.
I'm getting a feeling like it's kind of that feeling of motion. Like let's say you're sitting, but like you can feel someone walk behind you and you don't even have to see that they're there, but it's like you just feel them walk past and it's kind of like that vibe too. Like
Absolutely.
like for a fact that someone just walked in front of you or behind you or wherever. I have that feeling. And then I also
I just got a name, but I mean names for me are like 50-50. Honestly.
yeah.
I'm not the best at that and I will admit that. Chester was the name. So Dax, if you see this, and we'll definitely try to find you or message you somehow. I know Emily's got a lot. I don't know if we can, but we'll do our best. I don't know if you know somebody named Chester, but that's kind of what I'm getting for sure. And red hair. I'm seeing a man with red hair in life.
I'm getting pain in my forehead right here.
Mm, thinking.
Coffin.
Coffin.
Mm,
So is that what caused?
I see you.
Okay, cool.
Shovel.
Oh, coffin. It sees me. Shovel. Are you threatening to kill me? Damn. Or is that what happened to you? Hey, that come back to back to back.
yeah.
If anybody's familiar with the GhostTube app, does it normally do that? Definitely leave us a comment below because again, we don't promote using these unless you're if at home. Like but I can clear out things. I'm confident, and I'm not scared of it, which is important if you do stuff like this. But I personally don't recommend using these things in your house
Yep.
to try to connect with anything. This is
That's
more
that's
just
the
for
first
fun.
thing I say on my channel is don't use any spirit boxes or any investigation equipment in your house.
Mm-hmm. And I also feel like maybe I'm picking up some type of, around the time this thing was coming around, it's almost like he was searching for energy, or he was searching for a connection, and he wants to cross over. Like,
Mhm.
this person wants to cross over, and potentially, I feel like potentially there is some foul play involved around his passing.
Mhm. I'm seeing a dude
And
with bronze hair, which could be
okay,
a type of red.
yeah, it wasn't like fire engine type super red, but had a reddish tint to it.
Mhm.
Um, but she, when everybody that sees things sees them differently, especially even people that are intuitive. Some people can't identify past like the black shadow, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It just takes work sometimes, and some people just see it all of a sudden. So it's okay. And that, the fact that she just saw this, it's almost like something was going on between like the mom and the
I
dad, or
was
there
just
was.
thinking that. I was just thinking that.
Yeah, I feel like there may have been some fussing and fighting, but I don't want to say anything else about that. That's a little
Mhm.
personal. But I think maybe that's what brought it around.
Mhm.
And literally, and the playful side of it is, I think he didn't have any ill intent.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion on this story.
I'm getting pain right here.
Okay.
That's really sharp.
Is that
So
your left side,
it's my right.
right? Okay. Because I was thinking your heart.
Mhm.
But no, maybe just breathing, lung issues.
It's kind of given like like stab.
Mm, malicious intent.
Yeah, like that's how he died. There was some unaliving, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Very, very interesting.
I'm going.
You're going. We'll go into the light. Talking to a phone.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe a spirit. Who knows?
Uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable. I am uncomfortable right now. My leg actually has went numb currently. Quit reading my mind. All right. Well, that's all I'd like to add for this story. Emily, do you want to go ahead and tell us your haunting experience? Because I think we got two more. Because if you read Melissa's, then we actually have two more listener stories, and then your story and my story to go through.
I'm with a POS, which stands for piece of shit. And this person's no longer in my life, FYI, so it doesn't matter. But it's funny. Somehow, we are greeted by a deity, aka a being that claims to be Ishtar, which, if you don't know, Ishtar is from many different cultures and religions. Ishtar is supposed to be female. However, the way in which this deity presented themselves, they look like an older man with gray hair and a beard. Well, I find this ring and it's got a pentagram on it. It's a silver ring, a regular facing pentagram with a purple stone in the middle. I don't know what that means, but I'm like, okay, that's weird. I don't know why, but I feel like I have to take the ring. And when I, meet the person or being claiming to be Ishtar, I offer the ring back because I kind of feel guilty. And I'm like, I don't know, but here's your ring, or a ring that I just found. And yeah, they're like, I don't want that. You don't need to give that to me. Then the person I'm with starts acting like an asshole again. And the being claiming to be Ishtar starts teaching him a lesson. And let's just say the things or the attributes of this person that person used to brag about and was so proud, but like in an egotistical way, um all those attributes this being made flaws, and it was funny as fuck. I mean I shouldn't laugh, but it was funny as fuck because the person I was with was such an asshole. When I got out of this experience, I Googled Ishtar to see if the appearance lined up. And the Ishtar of Babylon was once described as a bearded male. And I was like, that's weird because in some of the other religions and cultures, they're depicted as a female. So I was like, was that actually Ishtar? I don't think it was, but who the fuck knows? But also in some of the other stories, there's references to the female having a beard.
Well, so the pentagram, if you have like basically the amethyst or like a purple stone
Yeah.
represents spirit, and then the other ones are like earth, air, water, fire. So aquamarine would be like water, earth's probably like emerald or jade. So
Oh.
in that particular situation, that's invoking the spirit, because the five elements, the
Oh.
ether, yeah, the either. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, I know it was a little fucky. It was either that or a 20-minute story.
Right. Right. Oh my gosh, y'all. Sometimes, but so Emily will send me her astral experiences, and I have this app called Natural Reader. And no, we're not sponsored, but if you want to sponsor us, Natural Reader, I use you often for Emily's stories. And basically, I can take her text and put it in there, and it'll read it to me, and I can speed it up. So I can, because I'm a multitasker, I'm a Gemini. So yeah. Anyways, thanks, Natural Reader. You
Yeah.
help me on a daily with Emily. Not daily, I'm picking, but yeah, very interesting story, Emily. I figured
Mhm.
we can go ahead and read. And this one is like a screen recording text, so please bear with me. But this is from Katie, and it's Fascination Lady. That is her name. So shout out to Katie for sending us this story. And I've read it, but it's been a while, so it's going to kind of be fresh to my ears and Emily's ears, maybe too. I don't know if you've read through this one. So I watched the video you put up 5 hours ago. I want to share an experience that I've had an encounter, eyewitness experience with. A couple years ago, I got a haunted doll named Jenny. I still own. Not sure if this plays a role or not, but my nephew would always say there was a boy who lived under the sink named Gary. He described him scary. You rhymed, girl, you rhymed. He would go on and tell us that the boy would cry a lot. There would be moments he would just freak out because apparently Gary would show up and scare him. Well, the other day, he came over, and right before he left, he opened up the door and screamed and looked at his grandma and my mom and said, "We can't go out there. This is scary. There's a scary man out there." There, both my mom and I looked out there. Nobody was there. We figured maybe it was Gary. He will no longer talk to him or bring him up to nobody. We thought it was odd. Well, before I was born, my brother, his dad was younger, maybe the same age as his son now. He would see a boy at this old house, at my parents' old house, my parents' house they lived in. Well, how he first seen this boy was when he dropped a Power Ranger down the stairs, and the boy came out of nowhere and started to play with it. That's creepy. He described him as burnt. Ooh, I picked up on a fire. I'm wondering if I was picking that because spirits are going to start coming
Mhm.
through. I don't know, just a thought. Um, Described him as burnt, and his name was Six. His name was Six. Weird. My mother told us he was terrified, that sometimes he would go into full panic because the boy would try to get him to come outside and play. Oh no. Oh no. My parents always thought the kids would stay home from school. Turns out nobody did. The TV would turn on by itself and they would hear footsteps. But believe it or not, the lady down the road lost her son in a fire. Ah, till this day, my brother doesn't remember anything. Yeah, but when that generally happens to kids, being open and then just kind of shutting it off because it was a terrifying experience.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that your brother is highly intuitive. And I'm trying to figure out, not sure if this plays a role or not, my nephew would see. Let's see, a couple years ago, I got a haunted doll. So her nephew's younger. That makes sense. Sorry, I had to go back because where I was reading it, I didn't retain it as well. But yeah, Emily, you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's weird that it's a haunted doll, but then you start having activity when you get the haunted doll, but then it's the neighbor who
Mm-hmm.
lost their son. I feel like, yeah, perhaps that can be true, but we know with haunted items that they're really good at trickery and they can take something that did happen and use it against you in terms of tricking you to thinking that's what it is when it's not.
Yes, I can agree with that. And I still think some of this is unrelated, but I do agree with what you're saying. That was my first initial response. But the thing about haunted objects is what I've been shown. The easiest way to describe it is the type of entities, and even more entities. They come this particular like haunted object entities, and they're all different, but they all come from the same source, and it's so weird. It's like a big black dark realm, I don't know, attached to like a big black cloud, and they shapeshift and they form into your fears 100%. I
Mm-hmm.
think there's at least two or three separate situations going on here,
I
and
agree.
it's yeah, yeah.
It's playing. It's playing games, not even just literally, but figuratively.
Yeah, and I think she was going between her brother and her nephew,
Yeah.
um, too, in like situations for when they were younger. But yeah, the brother's closed off now for sure. The haunted object itself, though, I really don't feel like there's much energy coming from or around that object. I think the family is open. And I think this could be managed by doing, if the family's open to it, I would highly suggest, Katie, that y'all start cleansing and stuff. And if you have a haunted object, make sure you're taking proper care of it. I'm not saying you are, you're not. Some people just don't know. Some people just sit it on a shelf. That's cool. But put crystals around it. Make sure you're cleansing your area and the areas and give it a designated area. That's the most important thing about haunted objects. And even some people get glass cases, like our friend Duran. He gets glass cases and puts his dolls in there. Not all of them, just really haunted ones. But ultimately, I feel like the place that you're living in has a lot of history, or the places that you're referring to in this, I'm feeling like it might not be the right location, but I feel like I'm in an old town like New England or something like that, where the houses are close together, they're old houses. And I'm seeing a time frame here, and I don't know why I'm being thrown back to like the 80s or the 70s, 80s, 90s. I'm getting that kind of time frame for the entity, or this ghost, basically. I do not like the burnt little boy.
I
I
see
don't
it
think
and it's not. It's
it's not a.
not.
Mm-mm.
It's not. It looks like either like I don't know if I could draw it. I'm gonna draw it because I see it clear as day, and it's bothering me a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like the little burnt boy, which is terrible, and that is something in my opinion that's like mimicking or shape shifting.
Yep.
But there is a ghosty in the house. Um and it seems like there's a ghost, there's a thought form, I want to say, that's coming from the people that are intuitive in the house. Um yeah, there's a lot going on, and I know we're talking about, I think, two different time frames as well.
Mhm.
If I'm wrong about that, Katie, please feel free to let me know. And guys, anybody that's had their story read tonight, if you want to validate anything or tell us we were wrong on anything or whatever, any comments, guys, even the people that are watching, if y'all got any intuitive information from these stories, we encourage you to share if you're open to doing that. Yeah, we all are trying to like continue to grow our gifts and do everything else here because we're all about it. We are a psychic paranormal podcast. So let's get our psychic on. Whoop, whoop.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's there to eat the negative energy. But essentially, it takes on like the shape of a human. However, It's not a human. It's
Well,
not a demon either, but I'm just saying, like,
Day.
it said day, D-A-Y.
So, sorry about the bad looking ugly.
Ew.
Yeah. Its mouth is open. There's no other, like, features, no eyes, no nose. It's just that's teeth. Its mouth is open, and it's black, and it's humanoid in shape.
You know what that reminds me of? Something you drew for another case recently
Yep.
when you were called
Yep.
upon.
Yep. That's
And
exactly what I was thinking of.
yeah, and it's involving a child too.
Yep.
So that's something that might not make any sense to anybody else. I'm sorry. It's kind of an inside thing, guys. We're not trying to leave you out, but basically, yeah, that's kind of wild.
It's
So the
literally
teeth
that.
is like human-y though.
Yeah. It's got human like body structure, but the only features you can see are the mouth and then like the shape of the body because it's all black.
Right. Yeah. As far as like energy, it said like when I said like. Look, guys, I'm telling you, like. Yeah. How? Like how? It's responding to you like how?
Like your
Look.
I almost said like your mom, but I shouldn't say that.
No. But mole digger sounds like a monster truck instead of grave
Did you
digger.
just
It's the
say mole digger? That sounds like an insult.
mole. No, mole digger. The
Well, moles dig in the dirt.
yeah. So I would assume that it's something attached to the land, like the land there. It gives me that like northeastern kind of vibes.
Yeah.
Honestly, this story gives me north. I get that imagery, or even maybe like Ohio or somewhere up there, where like kind of like where you live and above.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't really, and it's targeting certain people, but there is stuff in the house. It's like poltergeisty activity. Honestly, I think if you start clearing out the house on a regular basis, if it's super bad, once a week, but I think you could even get away with once a month, making sure you have a good space for those haunted objects and whatnot, and things will start going away. There's a boundary issue. Spirit just said boundaries. That means what I'm interpreting that as there's boundary issues here with the people that live in the house. One thing is if you don't have strong boundaries in your life and your everyday practices, then you can't have strong boundaries against spirits if you're open to that type of intuitive or spirit worldy information.
And I'm also getting like, sorry to jump in there,
You're fine.
but it's like sometimes when you have people that are not like investigators, they'll buy things on purpose and start doing investigations in their house, and it's like there's no separation.
Camera.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry.
Yeah.
Oh,
Help me.
I'm noticing a pattern with GhostTube too. It's giving me like 3 things at one time and then it
Yeah.
won't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Mickey's not very active, but I know he works because he tripped off with Dylan Rounds.
Right. And here is the cradle. This is the death card.
Yeah.
So mole digging death. The moles died. I'm not trying to make light of this at all. I'm just being silly, but it's really pointing to like
Soon.
maybe even burial grounds or
Yeah.
cemetery nearby the house. There's just a lot of things going on. Again, set up boundaries. You can call in your guides for help as well. So basically, bloody. Ew. You can call your guides in for help as well. So I'm going to go ahead and say, GhostTube, do you have anything else you want to say before I cut this off? Because I'm honestly tired of it. No offense, this isn't my favorite app, but one thing I do like by this company is the Seer app. That right there, though, like we will talk about things, and unless Seer's listening to me the whole entire time, which they don't have permission to do, and they shouldn't be, That stuff's crazy because I can think things and it will pop up on this, but am I manifesting it? You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
because we are creators, our thoughts send out energy and signals, and I just so happen to be the type of person that sends out a lot of impressions and signals with energy because I do remote work. So I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. Anything else you want to add to that? And guys, if anybody that we've had stories for, if you have any questions, feel free again, leave them in the comments below about your case, or we will contact Melissa, try to get in touch with her again because that's pretty serious. And we hope that maybe she's found somebody, and we apologize that it's taken so long to get to these between sickness and things going on between me and Emily. We've had to take breaks this season and stuff of the such. So it's taken a while, but our list is caught up. But yeah, I think that's all I'd like to add about this particular story.
Same.
Okay. All right, guys. Before we do the final story from me, so before we get into our next listener story, so we have one more listener story that's pretty brief, and then I have just a little tiny story I want to share about something that happened to me this week that was a little spooky. I don't really get scared as much as I used to with stuff like that, and I caught a tiny bit scared, like what the, but anyways, I'll tell you in a bit. Me and Emily have some cool things going on. We just want to kind of take just a couple minutes to say April 13th, I will be in Hamptonville, North Carolina at the Trivet Clinic Parafest. The Trivet Clinic is a haunted facility. I have not looked into any information about the Trivet Clinic because I'm trying to go there and investigate at some point very, very soon. Probably will not be before the event, and I'm going to do my best not to know anything about the place if I can get away with it. But anyways, if you're in the Hamptonville area and you plan on coming to that event, you can come say hi to me. I will have my own tent there. I'll be doing psychic readings, and I will be selling my metaphysical products and my jewelry. On my Instagram now, I'm starting to promote my jewelry again, and I'm hoping, no promises, but I'm really hoping to do a live sale the weekend or the week prior to the event. So you guys, my followers and my listeners and everybody, y'all have been super supportive of me, and I love you guys so much. And I want to give you first opportunity and first dibs at our new products if you're interested. And I say our products because I do Treasure Tree and Company, or TTC Gems, on Instagram with my fiance V, and he's super talented artist as well. Like he's a true blue artist in my opinion. But yeah, so I've got that going on, and yeah, I think I'm still working on my classes. I know I've talked about them and stuff of the such. So that'll be coming towards probably summer because it's taken me a long time. But I want to make sure they're going to be well worth people's money, that I'm giving y'all super awesome information because I've got a lot of details I want to put into them. I'm trying to make my tent interactive so y'all can learn while you're there as well. And I just did an interview with Down South Paranormal on Wednesday. They are a paranormal investigation team that do live here in North Carolina, not super close to me, but they have invited me to come ghost hunting with them at some time. So hopefully I'll be doing that. And the last thing that I have going on is, and Emily, this is kind of like something me and Emily decided to do openly together, but separate. We're going to start doing house calls. So it just depends, Emily has her own set of stuff. I have my own set of stuff, but we're doing it within the area. So if you live in the Piedmont region of North Carolina, I would be more than willing to come and help you deal with the case. We'll have like a consultation first, talk about it, and then make arrangements to try to come out, investigate your home, safely investigate your home, I will say, and see if I can do a cleansing on the physical and the metaphysical. And that's pretty much all the information I got. I just want to kind of make it as fast as possible. And I know Emily has a couple things she wants to share too.
So for me, it'll be, within like 100-mile radius of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So I will go out state within that, 100-mile radius. And yeah, same thing applies. It's like we'll do a consultation, we'll see what's going on there in your space. I'll help you remove anything that's there. Attachments, those take some time, but we'll work getting the ball rolling on those. For my channel, I will start doing more lives, and they're going to be like painting lives. Once I get my easel for my canvases, I'll have them set up. I'll do some painting. We can chit chat while I'm doing it. It's kind of like automatic painting, kinda, or based off of visions I've had. And then when the piece is done, I'll do like a live auction and then mail it to wherever the person is, but only within the United States, unfortunately, because mailing outside of the United States is expensive AF.
Yeah.
Just to send like 2 pounds in a small box, it's over $160, and I'm already broke. Everyone knows that. So right now, until things pick up, I'm only gonna do it within my country. And then let's see. I mean, I got the Patreon, that's always going. I've gotten some new members, so I always want to say thank you to them. I think I literally got 4 new members within the last week or so. So, yay. And I will be doing some more. I'm going to be going out and doing investigations kind of close to where I live, places that might not be well known to everybody, but Philadelphia in general is haunted as fuck. So no matter where I go, I'm gonna get shit. And obviously, I gotta do it within my price range, but I will have somebody with me some of the time, so you'll get to meet some new friends, so I don't get murdered when I'm alone. So at least I'll have somebody. But yeah.
Yep. So, and also too, Emily and I are trying to monetize this channel so we can start traveling to each other, and maybe I can come do investigations with her up there and vice versa, or go places and do investigations. So guys, please, please, please hit the subscribe button. We noticed that 70% of you are not subscribed, so it would mean a lot to us. And definitely, if you have the time, listen or watch our content, because we need those watch hours, and we have a feeling that you guys can get us there in the next 6 months if we keep up the work. And we are going to be doing more reaction videos. Hey Lamp fam, we have some exciting news to share. We've teamed up with the owner, Daniel Class, of the infamous haunted Hinsdale House in Hinsdale, New York, to help support the ongoing restoration efforts of this iconic location. We believe in the value that the Hinsdale House has offered to paranormal research teams across the country, and want to help ensure that this location will be available for years to come to visit. If you would like to join the restoration efforts of this iconic location, we ask you check out their merch store at danielclass.shop/lightsatmidnightp, or click on the link located in our bio, and it will take you to our link tree, and you will find the link there. You can browse through many awesome shirts, hoodies, accessories, autographed posters, and much more that you can purchase at a discounted rate, but only through our personal link I shared, danielclass.shop/lightsatmidnightp, and use code LIGHTSATMidnightP for 10% off. I assure you, if you're a fan of the paranormal, you do not want to miss this opportunity to help support the restoration efforts of the Hinsdale House and pick up some super awesome merch. Follow the link provided and use discount code LIGHTSATMidnightP to get 10% off your entire order. Join us in our Support Spooky campaign efforts to help out others in the psychic and paranormal community.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to our last listener story. And yeah, Emily, would you mind taking the lead on that one?
Yepper doodle schnoodle. Alright, this one's from Jessica C. As a child, I was terrified of my grandmom's basement. I would never go alone. If I was left down there, she would feel like any second something was going to grab her. As I got older, between 8 to 10, I would hear footsteps in the hallway. This was a very old ranch house, 1 floor with a basement, built in the 70s, and my grandparents were the first owners. So along with the footsteps, my sister and I slept together due to being scared at night. She would see a dark thing up in the corner of the ceiling. We both heard footsteps and then saw the jackets we had hanging on our door physically shake. as something shook the door. I was always the one to get up and check the hallway, as I did every time I had the courage. I checked down the hall, no one there. I checked my grandmom's room. She was sleeping. Same with my brother. That's all who was in the house. It was every night. As I got older and my sister didn't live there anymore, I didn't have anything happen or negative feelings. Now that I've been in my own home for 6 years since we moved in, we've had sounds of running through the house when no one was moving. My dog is seeing things and growling at nothing visible to me. If you gals can fill me in on anything that's happened to me, that would be amazing.
So basically, killed. I'm seeing an earthbound spirit male that was on the land prior to the house being built, but he's like an old man that's attached to the land in some way, shape, or form. That's from childhood, and he's just kind of like roaming the halls and messing with stuff. And
Yep.
the energy in the top of the room is kind of like a negative residual energy. Jacket. It's you said jacket. But
Yeah.
you know what's weird? This thing can't hear you because there's no volume playing. The volume's in my ear. The only way it could hear you is if it's picking up on the other earbud. Just saying. Because she said jackets.
Yep. And
In the
I saw a man messing with the jackets. Like I saw a male.
okay. Yeah, and that makes sense because I was thinking about that. I've been kind of saying, if it says words that I say right, but it would have to be picking up the sound of the stories of when you're saying them from this other earbud that's down here. Now they're like a foot and a half apart, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that is weird. I will say that is weird. But the dark energy is kind of like residual pent up kind of energy, but it was like in the process of developing a
Yep.
consciousness. Okay,
Absolutely agree, and that's exactly what I was gonna
I'm
say.
not. Yeah, I'm not going to stop because this is my job and this is what I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't want me to say this one right here. I will say these words feel real.
My
This
eyes are
doesn't.
burning.
Yeah, because it's constantly going on. So definitely you are open to spiritual activity. It's going to be important for you to identify how you're perceiving intuitive information, whether you are intuitive or not, because you don't have to be like practicing intuition to be open to spiritual energy. That's something that I definitely will be teaching coming up. And yeah, so we're going to have to figure out what's going on with that. Yes, I agree. And this thing's going off like crazy. And basically, there needs to be boundaries set up. This is another boundary situation. The house needs to be cleared. I'd recommend for you once a week. Um, but yeah, you've got something that is the old man is not around anymore. Then you have a masculine. I don't think it's male or female, but you have a masculine entity that is following you. So it is
It's an attachment.
yeah, somewhat of an attachment basically. So I would recommend the whole like clear your house in the physical, clear your house in the spirit, clear your body. You need to learn a little bit more about yourself in terms of why you're open basically, because people that generally have these issues are open. There's not been a single time that in the history of me or Emily doing this that I can think of, whether you use your gifts or not, that you're susceptible to energy. You are again another bright light. I know this sounds like a broken record, even though there's tons of things on the other side that are paranormal and there's so many things. There are predictable things, but there also can be unpredictable events. Well, we're going to. So keep recording. So basically, that feels encouraging, like we're on track here too. But yeah, I'll stop there. You got anything you want to add?
Well, the black child from the last case keeps trying to spiritually attack me, and it's going, and it's getting on my
Ew.
nerves.
Ew.
So I'm trying to like push it out while I'm trying to focus on this one.
Right. Yeah, we kind of opened ourselves up to a lot today, guys. So send us some love and light because we might need it. And you know what? It's interesting because Chasity normally has boogers come after her. Boogers are the Appalachian term for
Mhm.
ghosts, spirits, haints, you know. That's just one of the terms for an Appalachian person like myself. Um, but it kind of might tie into my brief story that I'm going to tell here at the end.
Mhm.
Why? That's what we're trying to figure out. Why?
Hold on. I'm still trying to go get the fuck out of here.
Hold on. Yeah, I'll send you some light. Hold on.
Okay, it just got sucked up into this white vortex thing and it got like sucked up within itself and it went bloop.
I was standing behind you, pushing light into
Mhm.
like the back of your neck
Mhm.
area. I don't know. That's what
Yes.
I was visualizing.
Alright. So with this, ooh, I'm feeling warmth right here.
Mm-hmm. I was
Mhm.
pushing energy into you right here.
Mhm. Okay, now I'm refocused back. Yeah, the male I was seeing mess with the coats is kind of like middle aged.
Mm-hmm. I would say 49.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was like 45, 50, like in that
Mm-hmm.
range.
Yeah, I would say 49. 50-ish.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that's really all I have to add about this one. Emily, do you have anything else you want to add about our last listener story? If you can refocus, I understand if you can't.
Well, yeah, so the thing in the corner, I agree, it's definitely residual energy trying to become a thought form. And and it now it's giving me pain in my solar plexus.
And that might be from her.
It might be the point of attachment in that spot.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
we want to people look, don't freak out, girl, when we say that. A lot of people have energy attachments. It is actually very common, and this can be healed through you pushing it out and, getting on your path of doing this and everything, or with Reiki and stuff like that too,
And
or just an
healing.
energy, yeah, energy healing period.
Mhm.
So, that's another point of reference is like the things we're telling you guys, please don't come from this in a place of fear the best you can because it can amplify it. Book.
Learn.
Book.
That's what helped with my fear was learning as much as I could about the subject matter. Anything
Hmm.
that was really dark and scared me, I'd research the shit out of it so I could learn as much as I could to get on top of it and ahead of it so I can help myself get rid of it.
Yep. Knowledge is power.
Mhm.
Knowledge is power. Alrighty. Well, we have come to almost the very end of this episode. Um, I find it interesting now. It's making a little bit more sense, but I had a client, just a astrological service. Um, I think it was Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, last night I believe. And super sweet, awesome client, love her to death, super full of light, heart chakra flooded open, just beautiful person. And the night before, I didn't even know that this person did Reiki herself. And the night before, I decided to get my crystals out and work on my chakras. I felt like I needed it. I was feeling stuck in some places. Super important to do this. You can do this even if you're not a psychic or a psychic medium. You can put the crystals on your chakras, like correlating crystals that fit there, and you can just have them help move the energy through your body. And I was doing that. Normally, it's a very positive experience, but I was seeing female. I was seeing things in black and gray like coming at me, and it was a multitude of things of like images of people that look normal but then they get all contorted, and then just like I saw a vision. It was almost like I was in a meditative state, but it went to a very dark place while I was clearing, and I felt good after or whatever. I'm gonna turn this off now because it's aggravating me. um it's talking back and I'm like, shut up. All right. Anyways, basically, I see a door like in the dark, and it opens up, and as soon as it opens up, like an entity. It was moving so fast. It was like come right in my face from the door. So like that, and I was like, whoa, coming up. I'm like, and I zonked it out with my light. It just, it went away. And then one guy, like, it was a male, and he got like really close, like this in my face. I know that's kind of too much for y'all, but that's what it does in my mind's eye. There is a perceptional space when I'm doing this type of work, and like people see colors and stuff, but when I have visions, when I'm in between that asleep and awake state, I was still awake. I felt the energy drop in my room, and I was just visited by multiple things. And sometimes that happens before cases and stuff. And my client said she sees in black and white, like with images sometimes. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I did last night. But now I'm starting to wonder if I was seeing a multitude of entities, because some of these entities could line up with these cases. That's been a occurring thing that has happened. If you've listened to us or watched us for a while now, excuse me, you've heard us talk about it. But I did feel something grab my leg. And yeah, so I just, in those types of situations, I don't freak out. I literally just push out my light. I pushed it all through the house. And you know what's weird? I even cleared just my room, not just my bedroom, not the rest of the house. I do mini clearings on my body. So I use sage or Palo Santo to do clearings, and it helps like unstick energy and stuff. But yeah, something come in here. I even heard something like on the floor, like make a popping sound and all kinds of stuff. But I don't get scared. And I'm telling you that not to be the big Billy badass here. I'm telling you that when you have things like that happen, you set up your boundaries. You can say them out loud. You can do it in spirit. You project out light and love, and it will stop. The only other thing I've had happen this week was I had like this for 3 nights in a row. I saw a like bug entity or elemental energy, and it looked like one of those sandworms with circle mouths, and it had teeth, just thousands of teeth, just, and it kept trying to like come at me, bro. Like it'd be really small, then it'd get big and come in like that. It was spooky. So, and I was wondering, I was like, damn, is that me? Is that something trying to latch on to me? I'm wondering now if it has something to do with one of these stories. So, there's just too many. Some of the things I don't remember. I feel like what come through the door was kind of womanish, like female type energy, but it was all blurry, because it was like, and by the time it got there, I'm like, I ain't opening no doors. Hell no, not tonight. You better take your ass on somewhere. And that was basically what it was like. And then I just threw it out. But there was a man with a bald head, blurry woman that's skittering through the door, and then the worm entity with like 1,000 teeth in a circle. If anybody has had those experiences that we did, like a cover for your story, let me know. Not really sure, but it was a lot. And I haven't had that happen in a while. And I found it when I opened up fully, they came flooding in. And this was Thursday night. And yeah, so that's within my time frame. So that is my spooky story. Yeah. So I think we've come to the end, unless you have anything you want to add to my spooky story, but I don't have
Well,
anything
the
else.
worm thing looks like the Dune sandworm in the movie.
Yeah, for sure. Like the ones that go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my spooky story. And we want to thank you guys for sharing your spooky stories. And I don't know if we'll put it in this week's episode or the following week's episode, but we have a new affiliate. Dun dun dun. We'll put a picture of that affiliate. Can just fell over. That could have been me, because I put my leg on my little table and it fell over. Okay. Because I already finished my Dr. Pepper. That was not paranormal. That was my chunky leg. But anyways, yeah. So we'll put in a picture of our new affiliate here. Emily's going to work her magic. And yeah, I guess that pretty much concludes this episode, guys. Just if you have any questions, reach out to us. If you have any spooky stories, you feel free to send us voice messages. on Instagram, or even we have a Facebook page too. If you can message us that way, it won't cut off. Like Instagram only gives you 1 minute messages. You can email them to us, and we can get Natural Reader to read them. Not affiliated, not sponsored, but again, if you want to sponsor us, we sponsor this ourselves. We are the sponsors of today's ads. Okay. But yeah, I think that's it. Emily, do you have anything else that you want to add?
No, Mickey didn't go off, and I'm kind of sad, but I'm kind of glad at the same time because that tells me my house cleansing worked. I just have a portal to close.
Only a portal.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, I guess. Oh, well, yep. And I'll be doing a live this Thursday with Rochelle. I forgot to mention that. Rochelle the Psychic Sleuth. So come hang out with me on my YouTube channel. Emily, she dropped a new video recently, I think last night, super late. Go check out her YouTube video and be sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. If you're listening on Podbean, we love you. Y'all are like our OGs. We've noticed some of y'all have switched to YouTube. So that's why you're hearing all this YouTube stuff, guys. So if you want to see our faces, come watch some of our content on YouTube. And one last thing before we go, you guys want reaction videos? We want to give you reaction videos, and we are hoping to get our shit together so we can start doing a video once a week on YouTube and podcast every other week on podcast platforms. And we will be doing somewhat different content on the podcast sometimes too, so you can go back and forth. We're still working it out. Patreon's still not here. We've been trying for a year. At some point, we might have a Patreon, guys. But yeah, you can always, if you want to donate to us to help us travel, you can always donate to mine or Emily's Venmo and put on there what it's for. Yeah, we want to go places and do things and give you guys the best content that we can. So I think that's it. Without anything else to say, I guess that's it. So yeah, Emily?
Tell me what you see. I don't know.
Yep, this week we're all discombobulated. She's over here disassociating because there's an entity knocking at her door. Probably.
Listen, first of all, it's a portal, and second of all, it's kind of prairie dogging through like the portal.
It's got your turtle head poking out. Just flick it. All right, guys. Until next time. Peace.
Boop.
Hey, if you have a haunted story you want to share, you can email us at lightsatmidnightpodcast@gmail.com. Get in touch with us there. We'd love to hear from you. We really appreciate y'all hanging around and checking it out. And yeah, thank you so much. We are super excited to bring you some super awesome content. We really appreciate you guys checking us out.
Thank you to all that took the time to listen to this week's episode. Your support means the world to us. And remember, all of us have the ability to shine brightly and shed positivity, even in the darkest of places. Stay safe, stay well, and light it up!